Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Jonathan, all right? First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the bishops on down as well, who taught us this truth and rule well. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Today, I want to go read the top of Micah, the 4th chapter, and we're going to do Who Does It Fit? All right, like that OJ case. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. All right, we're going to go through Micah, the 4th chapter, and we're going to see if it's happened already, or if the people that are claiming to be the Jews today in the Holy Land today, if they fit Micah, the 4th chapter. See, the book, the Bible that the Lord gave us, it's almost, no, I'm not even going to say almost. There's checklists within this book for you to identify the characters in the Lord's movie. And we're going to hold that checklist up to the light and see if the people who are claiming to be the Jews actually check out. So let's go to Micah, the 4th chapter here. Bear with me while I pull it up. All right, this is Micah 4:1. It says, but in the last days, okay, the last days, meaning before the kingdom of heaven is established, just before the kingdom of heaven is established. Now, the last days started when Yahushua was crucified, but right now we're in the last days of the last days. We're at the latter end of this little gap, this little grace period that we had to get our shit together. Okay? Micah 4:1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord. Now here, mountain is a metaphor for a country or a government. Okay? So it's talking about the government of the house of the Lord here. All right? Right now, in the state of Israel, they've set up a government, and let's see if it, lines up with how this government is going to exist in the world. All right, again from the top, Micah 4:1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, meaning it's going to be the top government in the earth, meaning what they say goes internationally. Now, somebody will say, well, I guess it's kind of like that. They get government aid and, America follows. No, America is the nation that sits at the head of NATO and EU. And yeah, America is also a puppet for the elites. But the state of Israel is not the government that sits at the top of all the governments. Okay? Established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, the smaller countries, and people shall flow unto it. Okay? Now, that flow unto it's going to get real interesting as we go through the next couple of verses. Okay? It says, Micah 4:2, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord. So are people going up to the nation or the state of Israel in doing this? Check this out. And to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Does the law, statutes, and commandments govern the world? And is the state of Israel, are they sitting at the top of all the nations pushing forth, hey, this is how people are going to conduct themselves, this is what you can eat, this is what you can't eat, this is how you deal with all these different various matters? Are they moving in that fashion? Starting to get a little fuzzy. Micah 4:3. And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. Meaning they're in a position of authority to where they can say, hey, you going off over here, you need to do this or else. And they shall beat. Now check this out. And what I like about this is it this flats out lets you know that the people in the Holy Land today cannot be the people. Here in the middle of verse 3, it says, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares. So nations are going to be demilitarizing when the actual bloodline descendants of Jacob go into the Holy Land. Not only are they going to be the top government, but nations are going to demilitarize, and there's not going to be war anymore. The thing about it is, the people in the Holy Land today, since May 14, 1948, it's been nothing but war. Not only over there where they are, but all over the world. Okay? And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. People are going to focus more on agriculture. And nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. All right? Then it talks about the condition of the people in the Holy Land, the chosen people, in verse 4. It says, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. The small hats, that's what I'll call them, or the JOOs. Everywhere they go, they're looking over their shoulder. Anytime somebody mentions them, they become irate. Anti-Semitic. Oh, see, we can't allow this kind of talk to go on because, no. The actual Israelites, when they're in the Holy Land governing the earth, it simply says here, nobody's going to make them afraid. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. Very plain. Now, I want to go to Joel 3. Because we're going to read about what's happening right now. And say, oh, that sounds a lot more like what's happening now, as opposed to what's happening, what's going to happen when the actual so-called Black, Latino, Native American, and speckled bird Israelites, the elect of them, are taken out of the destruction and placed back in the Holy Land in new bodies. Okay, let's read Joel 3. All right. Joel 3:1, it says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, all 12 tribes, I will also gather all the nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and Yahweh doth judge. Yahweh Shaphat, that's the word, and it means Yahweh has judged. Okay. And if you want to pinpoint that area, which is dope, the scriptures give you even locations. It could be off the coast of Syria, in that area, in that region. This is where World War III is going to take place. And all the nations that are militarizing, this is where that climactic battle spoken of in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, is going to take place. Okay? Joel 3:2. It says, I will gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. Remember Psalms 83rd chapter? When all the nations were confederate against the nation of Israel and plotted on how to cut their heritage and the remembrance of that family out of the earth. The Lord's going to make that right. Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay? Verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, sold us all across the world. We were the first commodity on the black market. And have given a boy for an harlot, which they literally did. They still do to this day. It's just behind the scenes. And sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? These were Hamite nations who we did trade with at one point in time. But just like all the people that we conquered, whenever the opportunity would arise to overthrow us, they take it, they jump at it. Okay? Will you render me a recompense? Are you going to make it right? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. You're going into captivity. What you thought to do to my people, you're going to drink of that cup. All right, verse 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into my temples, my goodly into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. All right, which would be, they took our relics and stuff like that. But the children of Israel, we're the Lord's jewelry. All right, verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem, all 12 tribes, have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Okay, so the Israelites were sold to Ishmael, to the Arabs, and to the Edomites, all right, which are so-called white people. Okay, verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head, what you did to the nation of Israel. All right, you're gonna reap that. What you sowed, you're gonna reap. And I will sell your sons, verse 8. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. So, at the same time, at the beginning of when Micah the 4th chapter is happening, when the kingdom is established, this is what happens right before that. Okay. Now we go to verse 9. Now, this is talking about current day. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. All the nations are preparing for war. Trump is trying to get more money pushed into the military complex because he's beefing up. He wants to build an Iron Dome because he knows what's coming. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, that all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords. Notice this is the opposite of Micah the 4th chapter. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All the nations across the world are militarizing openly, and many of them secretly, more so than they lead on, because everybody knows what's getting ready to pop off. Everybody's positioning themselves to be okay when the smoke clears. But the only people that are actually going to be in good standing when the smoke clears are those that are standing with Yahweh Shai, the Lord and his Son. All right, verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Even the smaller nations are militarizing, or have allies that have ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, because that's how this Third World War is going to be fought. All right. Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Okay. And Yahweh Shai and the angels are going to intervene in the midst of this war. And you can read about this in 2nd and 13th chapter. Are going to intervene in the midst of this war, in the midst of all the nations fighting over there in the so-called Middle East, which is really just Western Asia. And he's going to annihilate all the nations and their armies. And that is going to be the beginning of the reign of the family from the heavens. Okay? Verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. So great judgment is going to take place on all the nations and their armies. And this society is going to be flipped on its head. I mean everything. Okay? From the food, from the agriculture, to the moral compass of the people, what's right and wrong, to the laws, down to the very clothes on your back is going to be drastically changed forever, because this kingdom that's getting ready to be established is going to be an everlasting kingdom. Okay? It's going to be forever. That's what is coming to the earth. So those people in the Holy Land today, they don't fit what we read at all. In Isaiah, it says the least of the flock is going to draw them out. So talking about the chief tribe of Edom, which is Amalek, which is also the smallest tribe of the Edomites. The least of the flock are going to draw everybody into this world conflict, which they are doing. That's what's happening. That's the point in the Bible that we are. Okay? For the people that don't understand that, no, there's things in the scriptures that haven't happened yet. There's things that are in the scriptures that are happening right now. See? So, with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this checklist that we went through, and it was edifying unto you, to anybody new that's coming in, that's watching and learning. Okay, Abarat Tazah was edifying. I want to give our praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and of course the bishops as well. I want to say shalom to all the brothers, and of course the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. Alright, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.